Welcome to Engineering Knowledge. Today we will discuss design of IIR filters from analog filters. IIR filters are infinite impulse response filters. These are digital filters. First of all, we will see the difference between analog and digital domains. That is time shown by T and small n, capital T for time period, small n for fundamental period for digital domain. And analog domain is studied in Laplace domain, S domain. Digital domain is studied in Z domain. Similarly, here we use the frequency domain term, we use the continuous time Fourier transform. Here we use the discrete time Fourier transform or discrete Fourier transform. We represent frequency in analog domain ohm and it is omega. And Laplace domain, you know that S is equal to sigma plus j omega. That is a complex plane having real and complex axes. Whereas in Z domain, it is a angular motion, that is Z is equal to R e raised to power j omega, where R is the magnitude and radius of circle and j omega is the angle of the circle. Similarly, Laplace transform is represented using xx is equal to xt e raised to minus s dt, that is Laplace transform, and that is Z transform. And we know that frequency, analog frequency ranges from minus infinite to infinite, whereas digital frequency ranges from minus pi to pi. These are the summary of analog and digital domains. Now first is the analog filter transfer function, system function. As analog filter system function has numerator and denominator, poles and zeros. Denominators are poles and numerators are zeros, and we have the coefficient of these filters, that is beta k or alpha k. These are filter coefficients. We will represent the analog filter system transfer function using this HAS. A stands for analog, and we know that HT and HAS are Laplace transform pair, and HAS is the by definition of Laplace, it is HAS is equal to HT e raised to minus s dt. Now there are fundamentally two methods, impulse invariance method or bilinear transformation method, to convert an analog filter into a digital filter. Further, this equation can be realized using the linear constant coefficient differential equation, that is summation k equal to 0 to n alpha k d k time differential and beta k k time differential of input, and that is for output. You can realize this by using this property, y as output is equal to xs into HAS. We know that in Laplace domain it is direct multiplication and in time domain it is convolution. So if we just cross multiply this part and do the inverse Laplace, then we will have this equation. Okay. If we cross multiply this equation and do the inverse Laplace, we have this equation only. So not to be studied in detail, because our topic is impulse invariance method today. Now what is mapping basically? Desirable properties of effective conversion technique. Effective conversion technique means from Laplace domain, all the poles, all the information should be mapped to the Z domain, that is digital domain. So J ohm axis in the S plane, this axis, complex axis, J ohm axis in the S plane should map into the unit circle in the Z plane. Okay. In second desirable property, left hand side plane of S plane should map into the inside of the unit circle. That axis should be mapped on the unit circle, and that left hand side plane should map on the inside the Z domain circle, so that a stable filter in analog domain must be a stable filter in a digital domain, because we know that poles at the left hand side of filter means it is a stable filter, whereas if poles are in the inside unit circle in the Z plane, then it is also a stable digital filter. So these are two desirable properties of effective conversion techniques. Now first method is using impulse invariance method, that is filter design, IR filter design. These are the step or methodologies how to convert a impulse invariance method. That is, first we have a transfer function of analog filter, and then we will do inverse Laplace transform of this using the formula, and then it will be converted into time domain. Then now in time domain we will do time sampling using t equal to ns NTS. TS is the sampling period. Then we will convert it in discrete domain after sampling, that is HNT, and then further in discrete domain we will do Z transform and it will be HZ, digital filter. Simple steps. Let an analog filter with n poles, P1, P2 and Pn poles, their poles, suppose, and let we have the filter, analog filter having this characteristics, having n poles, AI S minus Pi. We have already done the partial fraction so that we can see that it is number of poles are there, P1, P2, Pn are the poles. Okay, simplest case, having n pole analog filter, we are assuming, and then we will do inverse Laplace transform of this n pole analog filter using the property, this one, e raised to minus at ut is Laplace transform is 1 upon s plus a, or inverse 1 upon s plus a, inverse Laplace transform is e raised to minus at ut. So this inverse Laplace of this one, inverse Laplace of this one, and so on, all the inverse Laplace will be added and it will become, that is 1 upon s minus pi has the inverse Laplace transform e raised to power pit, because it is plus, then it is minus. If it is minus, then it is plus. Okay, so HAT is equal to I equal to 1 to n for all the values, AI coefficient constants, and e raised to pit for ut. Ut means time is positive. Okay. Now second step is sampling. Put t equal to nts or nt, say for easiness. Ts is the sampling time period. Now hn becomes HANT or representation, that is directly we will not show t every time. So hn or HANT both are same, is equal to put t in the last equation, that is t here, t equal to nt we will put, and we will have this equation ai e raised to pi nt, and condition is that t is positive. If t is positive, if t equal to nt, then nt should be positive, so n should also be positive only. So limits. Further, next step is, that is applying Z transform. Applying Z transform of this HN, Z raised to minus HN, this is the formula of Z transform. Putting the value of HN from here in this equation, and further we will change the order of summation, because its natural order is minus infinite to infinite, but it is here said that n is greater than or equal to 0, so naturally limits become an equal to 0 to infinite, and this is what further step. Now changing the order of summation, and I equal to 1 to n will be taken out outside, and n equal to 0 to infinite taken out inside, and taking out the power commons, n is taking some same common power, it becomes e raised to minus pit z inverse raised to n, and this is the formula of summation n equal to 0 to infinite xn equal to 1 upon 1 minus x if x is equal to 0. Suppose for this case this should be converge actually, and this should be converge if pi is 0, less than 0. If this term will be less than 1, less than 0, then this should be converged and we will have this formula. So conditioning that pi equal to pi less than 0, suppose all the poles are negative, that is in the left hand side of plane, so that self filter is stable only. So after putting this formula, 1 upon 1 minus e raised to pit z inverse, and it is the final formula for hz. Further we can check it out that poles of this hz filter is, that is this term must be equal to 0 for finding the poles, and it is 1 upon minus e raised to pit z inverse equal to 0, or z is equal to e raised to pit. Okay, for I is different values from varies from 1 to n, I varies from 1 to n. So there are n number of poles. So now each pole in z domain is z is equal to e raised to pit. So now conclude the results. That is, first is mapping of poles from S plane to Z plane. How the desirable property fulfills in this impulse invariance method. That is 1 upon S minus Pi, the starting case we have assumed in equation number 1 is transformed to 1 upon 1 minus e raised to pit z inverse. That is the last conclusion case. Okay. First we have started from it, and after doing the 3 steps, that is the first we have done the inverse Laplace transform, then sampling, then Z transform, and we have achieved this expression. So 1 upon S upon minus Pi becomes this one. So S equal to Pi, that poles in analog domain will become poles at z domain is e raised to pi t. Combining these two equations, putting equal, that is s equal to pi, putting here z is equal to e raised to power st. This is the final equation which says the relation between s and z domain in one equation. Now further, putting z is equal to, suppose we know that the characteristics in this first slide, that z is equal to r e raised to power j omega for z domain, and for s domain it is sigma plus j ohm. And putting this value here, putting this value in this equation, that is r e raised to power j omega e raised to power sigma plus j ohm into t, and putting real and imaginary part segregated and comparing the real and imaginary part, we have the result r equal to e raised to power sigma t, omega is equal to ohm t. This is known as mapping, that one domain is mapped into the another domain. So by this formula we can observe that the left hand side plane, because when sigma is equal to negative, when sigma is negative, then r must be 0 to less than 1 by this formula. Okay, so when sigma is negative, then r is inside the circle. Left hand of side of the S plane is inside of circle. If sigma is equal to 0, then r equal to 1. It means at this point sigma equal to 0, all the points are mapped on the unit circle boundary. And when sigma is positive, that is this half, is then r is equal to greater than 1, that is outside of unit circle. So this is the mapping, that is left hand side mapped to inside on the complex axis on the z plane on the unit circle of z domain, and out from the right hand side plane is mapped outside the z domain. This is known as mapping of poles in impulse invariance method using this formula. Now further we have this expression, that is omega is equal to ohm t, second expression, and we know that digital frequency varies from minus pi to pi. So putting this value here, that it is the known fact, and it is omega is equal to ohm t by the transformation. Putting this value here, it becomes minus pi ohm t and less than equal to pi, and t can be taken out both sides, minus pi by t to ohm pi by t. This is the final equation of mapping, which says that all the analog frequencies are mapped into the minus pi to pi omega domain. This is analog frequency, this is digital frequency. But the problem is here that this method maps minus pi by t to pi by t of the analog frequency value into the all the minus pi to pi values. But other values, where are they gone? Because analog frequency ranges from minus infinite to infinite. So what happened here? Suppose we have plotted a minus infinite to infinite frequencies. So for this range, minus pi by 2 to t to plus pi by t, this frequencies are mapped into the unit circle because the range is minus pi to pi. But another frequency range, that is pi by t to 3 pi by t, will also map into the same range. 3 pi by t to 5 by pi by t will also map in the same range, and the universe similar method in negative frequency domain. So it means it is a many to one mapping. Many analog frequencies are mapped into the single area. That is the disadvantage of this type of method. So it is not used for high pass filter and band reject filter design because of this. Because of this, aliasing will happen, and due to this aliasing method, this method is only used for lower frequency or band pass filter designing only. Okay, this is the drawback of impulse invariance method. Now there are two examples. Suppose first we have drawn the results. That is, first result is 1 upon s minus pi relates to 1 upon that is the transformed in this z domain. Similarly, s plus a upon s plus a square plus b square. This is identity also in Laplace domain, and it transforms into this identity 1 minus e raised to power 80 cos bt z inverse upon 1 minus 2 e raised to power minus 80 cos bt z inverse plus e raised to power minus 280 z minus 2. Similarly, second identity in Laplace transform, that is b square upon s plus a square plus b square, and this identity transformed in z domain as e raised to minus 80 sin bt z inverse upon 1 minus 2 e raised to minus 80 cos bt z inverse plus e raised to minus 280 z minus 2. These are three the identities which are used to transform analog filter into digital filter using impulse invariance method. Now further example, suppose we have given that 2 upon s square plus 2s plus 2 is the analog filter having two poles s plus 1 and s plus 2 after doing the partial fraction, and t is given suppose 0.2 second, that is sampling time. Now we have to find the digital filter, which is corresponding digital filter with this analog filter. Just put the values, just compare the values. 2 upon s plus 1, where 2 is constant, and 1 upon s plus 1. By comparing this, pi is equal to, by comparing this identity, simply we have put the results. Here pi is equal to minus 1. So pi is equal to minus 1 and t is equal to 0.2 is given. Similarly, 1 upon s2 is some constant and 1 upon s plus 2. Comparing again the identity. Now comparing identity means pi means minus 2. So here pi is minus 2 and t is already given 0.2, and this is the digital filter. Easy step, just comparing the identities, you can have the values. Second example, little bit complex. Hs is equal to s plus 0.1 upon s plus 0.1 square plus 3 square. It can be done obviously by two methods. The first method is direct results, comparing the identity. It's a is here 0.1, b is 3. Putting the results, you have the answer. Okay. Now second method says that you can do partial fraction. It's obviously 1 upon 2 s upon s plus 0.1 minus j3 plus 1 by 2 s plus 0.1 plus j3. Using partial fraction, we have two poles, first, second poles, and now it is again the formula, using this formula, that is s minus pi. Here s minus this constant, s minus this constant. It is p1, it is p2, constant number 1, constant number 2, and this p1 can be again using realize the value e raised to power 0.1 t e raised to power j3t z inverse. Just finding the value of p1 and p2, comparing the first identity, and we have this result where p1 is equal to 0.1 plus j3 and p2 equal to 0.1 minus j3. Okay, so after, if you solve further and use the general formula, Euler's formula, you will have this same result. You can check it. Okay, otherwise it is okay. It is also the same answer. And it is all about the impulse invariance method. In the next video, we will discuss the bilinear transformation method of digital filter design using analog filters. Thank you very much for watching.